Laura, thank you so much for joining me for this chat. It feels
You're
so
welcome.
nice and full circle to have you back on my Zoom screen, as we'll talk about a bit in this
Ah,
episode. We had some one-to-ones at the start of this year and obviously on it as well. So it's very nice to catch up with you. Can you start with just introducing who you are, what you do, and how long you've been running your business for?
of course. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. On it has been amazing for me this year, and we'll get into that. But so I'm Laura. I am a Pinterest strategist. I mostly help food bloggers. It's something I absolutely love. I know Pinterest very well, and it is such an amazing platform for people, not just food bloggers, but for people who want to drive traffic to their websites. So. Yeah, that's what I do.
Amazing. And when was it that you started running your business?
Oh, that's a good question. So it was we're just coming up to 4 years now. So about three and a
Wow.
half at the minute.
Oh, congratulations. It's funny,
Yeah,
isn't
can't
it? It goes
believe.
so quick, and then you look back and you're like, oh my gosh, I've been doing this for years.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it has just been such a roller coaster. And I did have the plan to just help food bloggers. I picked up one client and they were recommending me. So now I then ended up with like a few all in the same kind of niche. And I was like, oh, okay, I just help food bloggers then for
Yeah,
now.
I love it. It's so fun, isn't it, when you kind of feel like you couldn't have planned for a business to get where
Yes.
it is. I'm all for intentionality and vision, but sometimes the action and the results kind of help form the vision, don't they? And as you're taking action, you get more clarity, and it's so fun to look back
This,
and be like, gosh, past me didn't plan to be here, but this is the dream. I love
well, I
when
know
that
when
happens.
I decided I wanted to do something with Pinterest, and it was a February evening, I remember it clearly. And I said to my husband, right, if I buy this course, I've actually got to do it. And when I think back now, never thought I would be where I am today.
Wow. Well, you have had an amazing year. I've obviously just been able to witness this last year of your business, but we're going to dive into what that's looked
Yes.
like. A bit of context as well for the people that are tuning into this. What you did at the very start of this year, is what at the time was known, I think I just called it like On It Plus. Because I was
Yeah.
like, what does it
Yeah.
mean if you're in on it, but you want a bit more? On It Plus, clearly. I love a simple name.
It worked
Uh,
well.
Now they're just called my strategy sprints, which is the one-to-one work that I do offer. I do a lot less of it these days, but when I do one-to-one, it's really focused on improving someone's business model, offers, pricing, and kind of auditing the what I call like the engine of the business, I guess, and making those key changes. So you joined on it. You also then inquired about that kind of one-to-one work on top of that, which we
Yeah,
did in the first half of this year. So the context has been given there for anyone listening in. We'll probably be talking a bit about the impact of both of those things
absolutely.
separately. I kind of word it that like
Okay.
on it is all about giving people structure, but if they feel like they really are still lacking some of the strategy, that's where working with me one to one
Yeah.
or one of my programs can
And
fit
also
in.
and also consistency. I think that was the biggest thing for me.
Mm,
I think the regular on it is fantastic from the fact that it's every month. So every month I make that time to work on my business, and then I
mm,
set the plan up for that month to work on my business as well. And that was the bit that was really missing for
yeah.
me.
Well, tell us about then kind of where you were, I guess, start of this year or end of
Okay.
2024. Like what were you feeling? What was going on in your business that made you, when you saw on it, think, yeah, this might be the thing that I need? Tell us
Okay.
about kind of where you were 12 months ago.
Well, I had a great little business. It had regular monthly income coming in. My main offer was Pinterest management. So it was a one-to-one offer. Um, and obviously the one-to-one offers, we all know we only have so much time to actually give to those offers until you completely run out. And that was what I had done, is I pretty much tied myself to my desk 24/7 managing people's Pinterest accounts. And as much as I absolutely love it, and I still have a lot of Pinterest management today, I didn't have the intention of tying myself to my desk like that.
Mm,
And I know I needed to change it. Everyone says about when you have your business, you've got financial freedom and you have time freedom. Doesn't quite work like that. And so I knew I needed to change it, but I just did not know how. I got some really great clients. I didn't want to really lose them. probably weren't paying me what they should have been paying me. And I think I just needed to go, right, what do I do? And that's where
Mm.
you came in.
And that I have to say is such a common position for business owners to be in, and especially common I notice with the work I do, where people are at. I'd
Yeah.
kind of put people into a couple of categories where you've got the people that are right at the start of their business journey and they're right, I've got a seed of an idea, I need to bring it to life. And I feel like we assume that's the hardest part of business, and it is difficult. But actually, there
Mm.
can be a really difficult period once you're up and running, what I would say
Yes.
established. It's then like, what's the vision now? You've actually got lower capacity than you had at the start of the business. There's
Yep.
then like you said, all of the challenges of being in your business so much. And what is so often the case is that when people are established and they join on it, is they're then looking to scale. But the key thing being, and I think you said this there, scale in a way that actually gives them what they want. Because usually that
Yes.
first season of business, you're just focused on like, I need to pay my mortgage and make enough money for this to work. Like, I just need to
Yep.
find a business that works. And then there's this transition of going, okay, well, maybe this isn't working for me as well as it could have. And so many of the people that have been in on it this year, as you'd have seen, like their vision and their wins is a lot around like fulfillment, freedom, flexibility, scalability in their business. And I love that because we
Yeah.
deserve businesses that really work for us. Can you give people then
Absolutely.
bit of a bit of a fast forward?
Okay.
What feels different now? Like, give us the extreme before and after. Like, where is your business sitting today?
So the extreme is I feel like I've got so much more control. We did a client audit, and that has been the most valuable thing to me. So I could see, I assessed like each client and how they work with me, and yeah, and that was really helpful. Um, I've just literally finished delivering my very first group coaching program. So rather than me do the work, I'm teaching people this is how I do it, this is how I get the
Mm.
results. And that has just been amazing. I absolutely love that. And I'm going to run that again in January. And I just think that's where I want to do. I love showing people that this is how it works. This can work for you. This is how we do it. And it's not hard. It's like with anything. Once you know the strategies and actually what makes it work, um, yeah, that's what we do. So yeah, so now I've got a bit more. I've got a lot more freedom in my business. I've taken on some help who helps me with the management side of things. So yeah, in a much better position.
It's amazing. So really kind of summing it up is the business feeling a lot more scalable and fulfilling
A-
for you as well, doing work
Absolutely.
you really enjoy.
Exactly, without feeling like I'm drowning, which was the
Mm,
feeling I had last year. And it's like, well, I haven't got time to work on my business because I've got all of this to do. And now I've got time to work on my business and develop the products. So develop the coaching program side of things. Yeah, because what on it has made that happen.
And I think how you felt this time last year again can be so common, where it's like, I have no capacity. How in the world am I meant to
Yes,
scale? Because I have no capacity. And
yes,
actually, that's
absolutely.
where the space to kind of step back and reflect. And I know that's where we then did that one-to-one work to kind of, I guess, for you to get some of my input as well of what some of those key changes would be. And actually, you make those changes and you just kind of you breathe, don't you? And you just go, okay, oh
Yes.
my gosh, the business has grown, but I've not had to increase my stress and workload to do
If
that.
anything, I've decreased it,
Ah,
which is just fantastic.
the dream at the celebration event we had yesterday for On It. One of person's win that they shared to the room was my business is achieving more and I'm being much lazier. And I loved that wording. Like
Yeah,
I
very
loved
much.
them being like, I'm I'm working less. Their wording was I'm being lazier. I'm sure they're not lazy. But I'm
No,
achieving more. And I mean, that's the dream, isn't it? We hear things like that
yeah,
said and it feels too good to be true. And I think what is actually too good to be true is often the pace and the speed at which people think that can be achieved. We're having
yes,
this conversation about a year of changes. It's so tempting, isn't it, to think,
yes,
well, how do I get there tomorrow? But actually, would you say, I mean, I would probably reflect this just from seeing it. It probably took a good 6 months even to make those key
yes,
changes, and
it
maybe
did.
it's been another 6 months to really feel the benefit and now be
Yeah,
living in this new era of your business.
yes, because I think the On It Plus, that was for 6 months.
Hmm.
And it was really nice because it kind of gave us the option of like, let's make a plan. And then I had time to go and implement it before we then caught up again.
Yeah.
And that was absolutely perfect. That worked so well. Because sometimes with these things, you're like, you walk away completely overwhelmed. I've got this to do, that to do, this to do. And then, but it wasn't like that. It was like, right, let's work on these things. And then I had plenty of time to actually go and do those things before, yeah, we got
Mm,
to then review, right, how's that gone? And do we need to make any changes? And yeah, that made such a big difference.
mm. And I remember there were moments, and I see this with anyone going through that kind of growth. There's moments, isn't it, where it's like, is this working, or is this like
Yeah,
this just feels hard, and that's what I love, and it's so important, isn't it, to have these moments where you go, oh my God, how much has the business changed in the
changed.
last
Absolutely.
12 months? And that just makes me so happy for you, Laura, because it's not, we don't want to grow businesses just to grow businesses, do we? Actually,
Yeah,
for you to be sat here going, no, I've got more time, more flexibility, I'm enjoying it more. The business is making more money, but I'm not putting more in. Like, I hope you hear yourself say that and praise
yes.
yourself for all the action it took to make that happen. Because I
Oh,
think past you would be so thrilled to hear those things.
yes. Oh, absolutely. I
I
mean,
love
it
that.
was such a sticky situation at the end of last year. And I was like, oh, do I just, and I did get, and I think I even said this to you at the start of the year, do I just burn it all down and start again?
Yeah.
And I really felt that so many times at the start of this year. I was like,
Mm,
it's, and particularly because, like, you know, I had trouble hiring the right person. That's not an easy task. And it's,
mm.
and I was like, oh, this is hard.
Yes.
Do I start again? And I was like, with your help, it was like, no, we can manage this.
I
We
think
made some
that's
quick decisions.
absolutely. But I think that's where a structure like on it's really interesting to me the assumptions people make about it, because there's a real assumption that people will have that it's just for early stage business owners, i.e., like
No,
get straight in, wrong.
no.
And I wonder where that comes from of like people think like, well, once you're up
Yeah,
and running, like I know, and like let's all be real. We know that on the business habits that are important, the tracking, the reflecting, the setting goals,
absolutely.
are we doing them consistently when we're at full capacity and stressed? I don't think so, but
Oh,
that's a side note. But the reason that I think it's such a helpful structure, probably more so once you're established, is because as you've just reflected there, improving something that already exists can feel unbelievably overwhelming, right? It's like this
yes.
massive ship out at sea that moves 1 degree a day, and it feels so painful at times. And I think that's where the structure, where we break things down and just take it step by step, can be so needed. I'd love to hear for you, what role do you feel that On It, and I guess the work that we do in On It, has played in the business kind of getting to this point? Because obviously, aside from the
Okay.
one-to-one work we did of just my kind of specific insights, yeah, what do you feel On It did in that journey
So
for you?
it was the consistency of our monthly call, knowing that I will put that time aside to work on my business
Hmm.
at the start, at the beginning of every month. And not only that, it's also then we leave with a plan of, right, this is what I'm going to do that month. And
Mm,
it's always, it's not overwhelming. We're not setting to like loads and loads of things. It's always like we look at our capacity. Well, what does a month actually hold for us? Um, okay, it's a whole month of summer holidays. Fine, I'm not going to get as much done. Um, but it's actually having that time and the prompts to go, oh yeah, I'm not going to have as much time. So what should I be? What can I set myself
mm,
to achieve without actually massively overwhelming me? So that has been a huge, huge help. And that is exactly why signing up for 2026 was a complete no-brainer because I still want that. I still want that month, that time to go, okay, I'm working on my business. But not only that, I'm also setting time and goals for that month to work on my business.
mm.
And without that, I wouldn't have been able to move from where I was to where I am now. So yeah, that's probably the biggest thing for me is the consistency. Then going back and reviewing, okay, did I get all that done? What worked, what didn't work? Okay, now
Mm.
let's look at forward to this month. What's our capacity and different things. So yeah, no, that's been the biggest thing for me
Oh.
on it.
I love hearing that, because that was the exact mission behind it, really, was realizing that a lot of the time I would do this work with people, we'd set the goals, we'd set the vision,
Yeah,
and it felt great, but it was actually, I think the most powerful sessions are the ones where we're not setting the goals, but we're just going, right, what's next? How did that go? What's the next thing? It almost feels like a monthly kind of realignment, doesn't it? Where you just every
Exactly.
month you come back and go, okay, clean slate, clean line. What's happening in the next month? And I love that you touched on there as well, that thing we talk about a lot in on it, which is making an action plan that's realistic and going, right,
Yes.
what is coming up? And let's build a plan around that
Be-
instead of just expecting too much of myself.
Exactly, because in January it's really easy to go, right, this year I want to do this, 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 this. And it's great, but it's actually making the steps for those things to happen. And rather than just have a
Mm,
long list of goals I want to achieve that year, this is so much more focused and with intentions, and everything comes back to my goal, my intentions for the year, and everything is linked to that. And that
mm,
has been the biggest difference. It's been so much clearer
mm.
on exactly what I need to work on.
That's amazing to hear. I guess especially as the business gets more established, there's more going on. It's like we can't expect ourselves to have that just clear focus all the time. We almost need it to be captured. It actually kind of blows my mind that we don't realize we always need this. It's like I'm
Yes,
running a business and I just expect to hold all of this in my head and not have anything written out and clear.
exactly. Sometimes it's really nice to see things written on paper
Yes.
or or on the screen.
100%. And to have that moment where I learn a lot of looking at how bigger businesses are run. And I think we can learn a lot from bigger
Yeah.
businesses where they will have board meetings every month and they will have a mission statement and a clear vision. And I think as small business owners, we can sometimes do ourselves a disservice and be like, oh, I don't need that. Or like, I'm just bumbling
Yes,
away. And it's like, okay, you might not need that. But if you have that, you're going to achieve some pretty cool things and in less time. So shall we do
absolutely.
them? Shall we add them in?
Absolutely. I think, yeah,
Which we love.
yeah, I love, yeah, exactly what you just said. It was
Yeah.
fantastic.
Do you feel that there's also been kind of learning for you this year around yourself as a business owner? Because I feel like that's often a
Yes,
key piece of it, isn't it? Is like actually understanding more about how we work best and who we are.
I've been a lot more organized. So we look at habits and different things. So one of the things that I really developed this year was planning my week. So I
Mm,
set up my own little planner in Notion, and on a Monday, quite often in co-working, I sit and I look at that and go, right, I put my meetings in, like these are the times I'm working on client work. This is when I'm developing the business. So that's been, yeah, really, really helpful. And the personal development of being more organized. And that might sound extreme, but when you've blocked out the time on the calendar, you're more inclined to actually stick to it. I get really cross when I'm like, oh, I need to go back because I haven't quite done that. Or I haven't allowed enough time. But you learn as you go on.
mm,
But yeah, definitely blocking time has been really helpful. And I think the other thing I've learned this year is that I can say no.
yes.
Um,
We love that.
and it's not something that comes naturally to me. I always want to be like helping people, but there are times, and I've proved it this year that actually it was the best thing for me to do to say no, and it felt so uncomfortable. But I
Mm,
look back now and I'm really proud of myself because I'm like, I actually said no to something that I
yeah.
didn't think was right for me.
And so often it's the most difficult feeling decisions that lead to the most exciting and aligned growth, isn't it? And that's
Yes,
actually come up in a lot of these case study conversations is it's people letting a client go or prioritizing something that feels quite uncomfortable or
yes,
difficult or putting the time into that task that they don't really enjoy. Like it is annoyingly true, isn't it, that that discomfort often unlocks future growth. And I think that bit of self-reflection where we'll often, as you'll know, one of the prompts I'll use a couple of times a year is like, what's the action you're avoiding? And that's often such a
yes.
powerful one, isn't it? To be like, oh my God, I'm
And
avoiding this thing.
And the
And
cost of it as well,
yes.
as you say, yeah, what are you avoiding and how does that affect
Mm,
you personally? And how's that how's that going to cost the business as well if you're not doing
yes.
those things?
Yeah. Because it's easy, isn't it, to say or think like, oh yeah, I really need to do that. But it's like if there's not that really clear connection of why you want to do it, no way you're going to want to put yourself through that discomfort. But I think when you
No,
have the vision, don't you, when you're like, and you believe in the vision, when you know like, oh, my
yes,
business could feel a lot better for me, work a lot better, whatever the vision is, then a decision like letting go of a client or saying no to something it doesn't make it completely easy because there's always discomfort, but you just have more motivation to push through, don't you? You're like, okay, I
Absolutely.
can see why I want to do this difficult thing. And then, as you said, you do it,
Yes.
and then you look back and think, I'm so glad I did it. And then it's easier to do the
Yes.
next time and in the future.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Oh,
So yeah,
love
they've
it.
been my biggest like personal developments this year,
Mm. And I'm
and
just
they're huge.
so wanting to celebrate for you, like that growth in the business, that you're now running a
Yes.
business that feels so much better. I wonder how your past self would feel if she could see where
Oh, I
things were at
know.
today.
I'd be really chuffed. She'd be really
Mm.
chuffed.
I love
And
that.
it's like now I'm like, okay, I'm thinking for next year, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I can develop this more, and I can be even more prouder. Yeah.
I love that. I often think of the phrase like it's not bigger as better, it's just better as
Yes.
better. And
Yeah.
in business, we're just
Exactly.
constantly thinking, okay, what does better look like? And who knows, maybe the next year for you will feel less dramatic of change. It will be refining and tweaking, or maybe, and this is
Yes.
what I love about our business owner brains, is we reach the peak of one mountain and then we see the next one and go,
I know.
game on. Let's
Do you
get
know
there
what?
now.
You always have like a word for the year. Well, not everybody does, but it's something that I picked up and I'm like, oh, do you know that this year was taking action and my first action was signing up to on it, but then
Amazing.
taking action in the business all year. Next year, I've already kind of decided that my way is going to be easy and I want to make things easy.
Oh, I love that. I'm excited to hear what your
Yeah,
yearly intentions end up looking like. We'll be doing that in January and you can
yeah.
tell me how they
So,
fit in with that.
yes. So I'm
Oh,
looking forward to setting those.
yeah.
I've got an idea already. So,
I
yeah.
love it. I feel like the current On It members are the most like everyone I'm speaking to at the moment's like, yeah, cogs are turning, thinking about next year. Like you guys are going to be on the January call, just like 20 minutes in.
Yeah, we're
Got it.
done.
I'm there. You're the veterans now. You're just gonna sit there with it all good. But
Um,
that's the beauty of the work, right? Is when you prioritize the regular reflection and goal setting and vision work. I guess it's a bit like that snowball analogy where I think the first time you do it, it feels so hard and so alien. And I
yes.
see that a lot when I do the vision work with people that aren't used to it. It feels like it's kind of just difficult, right? It's a part of our brains we don't always access. But once you're in it, you naturally find yourself
Yeah,
just having natural evolution of vision because you're doing it
exactly.
regularly.
It
So it
becomes
does
a
get
habit.
easier.
Yeah, and it becomes a habit that you're then thinking, okay, this I've done this, and particularly when you have that monthly time to review and think about, okay, this has happened. It's either great and okay, let's keep going, or actually it hasn't worked quite so
Mm,
well, so fine, let's try something else. And
yeah.
it's been able to have that time to I never would have done it. I know I wouldn't have done if I hadn't
Mm,
have had that on it time to actually reflect. And then that's what drives you forward.
yeah. And I love that honesty with yourself because I got to tell you, Laura, I come across a lot of people that go, love the AB method. I'm just going to do it for and by myself. And I just want to say back to them, best of luck. Because I wouldn't even do it if I wasn't sitting down, as you know, I do, because I say to you guys at every session, I do the calls myself. I sit down and do them
Yeah,
beforehand because you can know what you need to do. It's the simplest. But let's give another example here. We know how to answer an email, but we still put off replying to them. We know how
oh
to
yeah,
pay a tax bill, but we still put it off. It's not knowing the thing that you need to do isn't the problem. And I
no,
wonder how often we tell ourselves like, oh, I'll track my progress and metrics next month. And then a
yeah,
year of
yeah.
that, and you go, oh, I wonder why the business hasn't grown how I want it to.
No,
Mm,
exactly. And it's like, our co-working sessions, I love joining there. And it's quite funny that group that we have that people do like this. I know I plan my week. I know there are
yeah,
people
everyone does
who
the same
write their
stuff.
emails or whatever, and we all do, but we've got that time
Yeah,
to
it's
do the
really
work.
special. Oh, Laura, this has been such joy. I'm genuinely just so thrilled to hear kind
Oh,
of that growth for you because I know how much that means to you. And it's that
yes,
is the growth that actually matters, isn't it? Like I know when I look back at my last few years of business, it's not the shiny stuff that stands out to me. It's the changes that really affect you
yes,
most. And thank you for
absolutely. Oh,
talking
you're
about how On
welcome.
It's played a role in that. As we wrap up, I mean, you've already shared such generous words, but if anyone is perhaps thinking about joining, maybe they're resonating with what you're sharing of like, I'm so overwhelmed. How am I going to make my business work better for
Yeah.
me? I guess you being a bit further along on that journey, what might you say to those people?
You don't have to do it alone. You don't have to struggle alone. Come and join us. It's such a great group, but it's your help, your guidance, your prompts, the things that you give us that make us think about things in the right way. And as I say, we have that time to reflect, but then also, you know, plan going forward, set our goals, but make them realistic and by
Mm.
looking at our time. So if anybody is in business and wants to work actually on their business, come and join us. It is a absolutely fabulous group. I couldn't
Oh,
recommend it more.
thank you, Laura. You are so, so kind. I'm thrilled to continue with you for
Yeah,
2026 as well. So
absolutely.
welcome.
Yay.
And yeah, I'll leave all of your links in the show notes for people to come and connect with you too,
That'd be
and
great.
the link to sign up if people want to join us.
Yay. Please do come and join us.